Loneliness. Hey dweebs, welcome to the real world. I'm Tyra Verified, and if you're watching this, you're verified by association. Has such a negative connotation in our society, do you think? I think that there is an extremely negative connotation surrounding the word loneliness. Raise your hand if you're lonely. Raise your hand if you like your solitude. Loneliness in the age of the social as in social media. I am definitely not referring to a phenomenon that in-person socialization has exponentially gotten better. No way. Social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. What else do these kids use? TikTok, and now Clubhouse. Even emailing, I would say. Oh, let's put Tumblr in that too. Am I missing anything? You got a kick? So you would think that with the rise of all of these social media apps that we will be super extroverts and be bouncing off the walls and just be high vibrational beings. That's definitely not what's happening. In a way, I like to think of my social media account as another dimension to me. So I'm living real world, but then I'm also living Tyra Verified world, where I'm Tyra Verified and I have no last name. But in the real world, you know me as Tyra. So I love definitions, despite my philosophy professor telling me that definitions are useless and does not actually correctly describe all of the phenomenons that occur in our natural world. However, I just went to Merriam-Webster to look up the difference between loneliness and solitude, so I will be reading off of my phone. Solitude is the act of removing yourself from society. Loneliness is being without company, sad from being alone, and producing a feeling of bleakness and dissolution. Oh, I don't know about you, but dissolution sounds like a very negative word. How come solitude has a more positive connotation than the word loneliness when, to me, both of those things kind of mean the same thing? Solitude, you're removing yourself from society, so wouldn't that mean that you're lonely because you're without people? And I don't know about you, but I've been in a lot of situations where I have been around people, but I've actually been the loneliest. Yeah, like I've been in groups of people, and because there lacked deep, soulful connection, I was just not able to actually feel fulfilled in mind, body, and spirit. At least one of them could have been fulfilled, and I wasn't fulfilled even in the mind or body or the spirit. I was just there, just observing and not actually benefiting, but actually feeling even more and more depleted. Which is why for the longest, I thought that I was just an introvert. I found out that I'm an ambivert. Of course, there's a new word to describe everything, but I'm not an introvert, I'm not an extrovert, I'm somewhere in the middle. And even though one person can identify as an introvert and another person can identify as an extrovert, I just believe, honestly, we're kind of all ambiverts until we're around the right situation. And if you're an extrovert in every situation, I applaud you, you strong-willed spirit. It's very hard for me to be extroverted around everyone, but when I'm around the right energies, I'm like this ball of energy, like trying to rile everybody up for a tailgate on Saturday morning at insert college town here. But when I'm not around the right energies, I'm like this. It truly depends. And in those instances where I'm just sitting there with myself, I don't particularly feel lonely. And I think that's where we kind of misdefine what loneliness is in our society, because we think if somebody doesn't talk that they're extremely lonely and sad and self-deprecating, when in fact, they're probably just trying to retain their energy. They just don't see the social situation as anything that would benefit them if they started to talk. But there are situations where people are super shy and they're anxious and they just don't know how to, get involved. But even in those cases, maybe it's good for them to maintain their energy, because you know, everybody's just going to end up being quiet when they say something, or people are going to be judgmental, or maybe it's just not the right vibe, it's not the right people. Okay, going back to the original subject at hand, loneliness versus solitude. Are we ever alone? Like, ever? Are we ever alone? And I know people say, nah, I got the Holy Spirit in the room. I feel you. I would say the answer is no, in terms of human connection. Not even saying it like it's a positive connection or a negative connection. It is just simply acknowledgement of a human connection, whether I consented to it or not. You already know, sometimes you go on your Instagram and you're scrolling through some stories, you're scrolling through your feed and you're like, I really want to unfollow this person because I just don't appreciate whatever they just posted. It does not resonate with me at this current moment. And there's not much that you can do because in that specific moment, you feel like you're binded to the person through some artificial connection, like you have to follow them. If anything, you can do anything you really want in this life. And I when I finally recognized that, I was freed from the chains of the devil. I said, not today, Satan. If I don't like you, I will simply unfollow you. I just don't think it's necessary to follow all of these people because it's like, number one, you most likely pick up your phone right in the morning. You go on Instagram, Twitter, insert anything, Facebook, insert anything. I don't know. And now, like, you're scrolling through your feed and you want to maintain your energy for the morning, but now you're looking at other people's posts and someone's reposting something from Justin LaBoy and you're like, damn, that's such a toxic account. And now that's like in your head disrespectfully. And now your day's kind of started off a little fucked. So now I'm saying, no, I don't think we're really alone because each of our energies can impact another person no matter how far away we are from each other, just due to the age of the social. Like, we're able to just really pick up on each other's essence, not the truest essence, because you can have like a black ass aura and then now you're going on Instagram like, I am the universe and I am the fairy godmother and Santa Claus. I don't know. Like, I am just this ethereal being and none of you guys are. Get on my level, which, by the way, everyone is an ethereal being and everybody holds the same amount of power within them because I don't believe one human is worth more than another. I think each life is worth the same. Period. So I'm going to transition here and I'm making this video because I believe it's taboo to say that you're lonely. I think it's more acceptable in our society to say that I'm going on a retreat for solitude. So, like, I'm just turning off my phone so I could just be with myself and nature. I think it's more acceptable to do that. Way more acceptable to do that than to be like, I'm lonely. I am so lonely. People will be like, girl, love yourself. And it's like, they have a point. They have a point. Come on. Come on, friend. They have a point. Come on, best friend. They have a point. Come on, evil twin. They have a point. However, also, like, if you just say you're lonely, like, that's an emotion. And, like, you shouldn't let that emotion completely consume you because that emotion derived from a thought. And maybe that thought was passing because you saw something on social media. You see what I'm saying? And now you feel like, oh, I'm lonely because this person is with person X, Y, and Z, and I'm just with my cat or my fish or my dog or just with the Holy Spirit. It's sometimes okay to acknowledge that emotion as well. You know, there's factors that could be influencing that emotion, but if you admit it to yourself that, hey, I could be a little bit lonely, it's good to like catch yourself before like you get into this like tunnel and like other factors and other influences are making you feel even worse about your situation. I think it's okay to say, hey, this person is with person X, Y, and Z, and I am just with my cat or my dog or my fish or the Holy Spirit, all of the above, and like you're just chilling with that because it's a fact. Like, if you're just alone, does that make you lonely? I don't know. You can be lonely, but not in solitude. And you could be in solitude, but not lonely. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you can be lonely, but not in solitude. You could be around people and be lonely, but you could be in solitude and not be lonely either because, like, you're full. You're just full of life. You're full of just everything that you need. You're full of peace. peace is all that you need, really. That's pretty much what I'm striving for each second. Breathe. Did you breathe today? If not, it's okay to honor your emotions. I think there are a lot of pros to just kind of being with yourself and honoring that emotion. For once, you're able to cultivate independence. You have the ability to learn more about yourself. And when you learn more about yourself and you're just with yourself, I find that oftentimes you end up creating, and you just created a vision for yourself and created a whole entire pathway and potential journey for happiness in your life. So you will no longer feel the wrath of FOMO, like you should be around people or you're missing out on anything. You're not missing out on anything. You are living your current moment, and honor your current moment and pick up on the beauties of the current moment. And you also won't just stay busy just because everybody else is staying busy. You'll honor the fact that you do want solitude currently, and that you deserve to be one with yourself or your cat or your dog or your fish or the Holy Spirit or all of the above. There are a lot of different ways that you can alter your way of thinking about the state of loneliness or solitude. It's good to be with yourself. You will feel so full. Even brushing your teeth, you'll have a blast because you know you got yourself. You know, being your own best friend at times is sometimes the best thing that you can do for your future self. And I've been there, but I've combated the feeling of loneliness, so I'm able to make this video. I remember I realized I combated the feeling of loneliness when I explained to someone my living situation. I told them, I'm living with myself. And the person told me, hey, I think it's funny that you said that you're living with yourself instead of saying that you're living by yourself. And that's how I knew. I finally understood myself as a spirit. I acknowledged my spirit and I acknowledged my own identity rather than just utilizing my gifts of awareness just without thinking about the whole thing. And it's a beautiful thing. And you're not alone. The emotions that you're feeling, you are not alone. A lot of us feel lonely. I think I read something like 3/4 of Americans feel lonely. I think the best thing that we can do is start opening up to each other and being vulnerable about what's really happening. Just express what's really going on. And if people aren't being conducive to it, fuck them. You'll find your community, but continue to honor yourself, continue to do good things for yourself and your spirit. When I'm talking about yourself, I'm talking about mind, body, and spirit, and try to identify different communities that you're able to relate to, even if it's internet communities, because you're not alone when you're on the internet. Utilize the internet for your benefit because there are a lot of resources on there. Or if the internet is causing you anxiety, tune out. Fuck them. You don't need them. That's it. Capiche? And with that, peace out, dweebs. I'm sorry, I know you're lonely and I just called you a dweeb, but I'm also a dweeb. Bye!